What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the show that's cool and fly too. A1 Forever Sports. Chris Tip Moore here. Be generational because it's always time to be. And don't you settle for less because it's always you can have more with the vision. And I really want to see the vision about today. Today, we really did it. Arthur Smith and the Atlanta Falcons did it today. It's crazy. We lost to a 1-12, which is now a 2-12 team. 2-12. Second time we've lost to a one-win team. Yeah, it's all smiles here, man. It's just, hey, what else do you want us to do? What else can we have? The Atlanta Falcons today lose to the Carolina Panthers 9-7. The Atlanta Falcons scored in the second quarter and no more. As the Carolina Panthers scored in the second quarter as well, and they picked up 6 points in the fourth quarter to close it out. I got to give them their credit. That was good clock management, especially after we used our last time out in the fourth quarter, with a little bit under a minute left. And excuse me, no, a little bit under 2 minutes left because the 2 minute warning had just happened. So yeah. And then they just were smart with it. Took kneels, ran the clock down, victory formation. A 1-12 team had victory formation against you. Man, it's like, okay, how many ways do you want to find a way to lose? All right. Let's get into a little bit of stats. Let's get into a little overview. Desmond Ritter versus Bryce Young. Round two. First time Ritter picked up the win. You already know we started off 1-0. Second go round two. This time, Bryce Young, 18 for 24, 167 yards. Desmond Ritter, 12 for 20, 152 yards, one touchdown, and one interception. A very costly interception. And to be honest, that interception right there negates anything that really happened well in this game, which is probably like the 58-yard reception from Jonnu Smith and the Joker scoring a touchdown. It's been considered a passing touchdown, but still, him getting in the end zone. It's like, what more do you want from us Falcon fans to deal with? Only 204 yards today. 204 total yards today. 152 passing versus their 154. They absolutely obliterated us in the run game, 129 to 52. 129 to 52. 4.5 yards per carry, and we only averaged 4. We had 12 first downs. They had 17. We had penalties against us. I feel like our penalties were a little bit more costly as the game went on. Had 4 for 25, but costly nonetheless. But time of possession, they had it due to the run game, again, getting 129 yards against us. So the time of possession, of course, they controlled that. But ultimately, this loss falls on Desmond Ritter decision toward the end of the game. I don't know who or where he thought that ball was going to go. At first, I thought he was trying to get it to Kyle Pitts, but I guess maybe he was trying to get it to Drake London later on as they had rolled the replay around. Either way it go, it was an ill-advised throw. Either way it go, it shouldn't have been done. I gave you credit earlier in the day when you made a play and you threw it away instead of trying to make something happen out of nothing. You did that a couple times, but this time in the crucial moment when we could have just maybe took a field goal, we was in range, but instead, I don't know where else to go with it with you, Desmond. I don't know where else to go with it because I'm one of the guys that really actually supports you and really hope that you turn the corner and show that you have the it factor. And you have to really question, do you really have it, Desmond? Like, do you? Because that play and that pass was just ill-advised. Like, where were you going with the ball? Let me ask you that. Like I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, play calling is one thing, but that decision right there simply cost the game. It really did. I can talk stats all day long. I can give my opinions on different things, but ultimately, that play right there, that play right there, play calling issues, but the defense, it did was the best that it possibly could. But eventually, they even got tired. 63 plays versus 51. We had 3 sacks, including 2 guys getting their first NFL sack. So shout out to the young guys, Zach Harrison and Taquan Graham, for getting their first NFL sacks. Hopefully those guys are trending up in the right direction for the rest of the season and also going into next year. DeMarco Hellams, he was solid. I like DeMarco Hellams a lot. I'm liking the fact that he's getting more playing time. He was upset at himself earlier with a tackle against Chuba Hubbard, and then he came right back and he made a drive-saving play when on 3rd and 1, where he went ahead and laid the boom on little fella. So I like what he was doing. Laquel London, he was back in full effect, doing his thing. It was great things. Calais Campbell, shout out to Calais, 103 sacks, 35th all time now in sacks. So it is some good things that happen, but it's just all negated, And I ain't letting you slide either, Mr. Bijan Robinson, because that fumble hurt us as well because it led to points regardless. That Falcon defense, it held up as long as it could. The number 2 red zone defense in the league, and it held up as long as it possibly could. But Bijan Robinson, you aided in this loss as well, not being able to hold on to the football. And I was wondering where was Tyler Algiers? In the beginning, before the game even started, I dropped a video, the AOA1 report, a new segment that I'm introducing to the channel. And I said I would like to see more Cordero Patterson, more Tyler Algiers. And Cordero Patterson and Tyler Algiers, they combined for 19 carries between the two of them. And Patterson, he really wasn't getting too much traction. Understood. The conditions was very, very murky conditions. But Patterson wasn't getting too much of a run, -2 yards. I mean, Bijan Robinson had 7 for 11 yards. Tyler Algiers, 14 carries for 45. But in crucial situations, you wasn't pounding it. I want to see more Algiers. This game, it was ugly. It was muddy. I want to see Algiers. Everybody wants the shiny toy, and I understand that. I get it. Drafted 8th overall. But the thing about the Atlanta Falcons is you have weapons. A team that has weapons, you don't always use the main guys all the time. Sometimes in the game plan, it's not your turn, dog. Sometimes you got to dial it back and go to what is working. And Tyler Algiers, this should have been a Tyler Algiers type of a game. I'm not blaming that all on Bijan Robinson because he is a dynamic back. But in that particular moment, that was a costly fumble, and that was his 3rd time putting it on the turf or the grass this season. And young fella, that was your 3rd time this season, and you did it in Panthers territory. So the timing of it was just terrible. The timing of it was just awful. So that led to 3 points. Again, the Falcons defense making a stand. The last drive, that was just Bryce Young driving the ball down the field on a defense that has really done its best in these weather conditions. And he started to gain more command and more control. You giving this man confidence. Why is every team got to gain confidence? You get the Cardinals, they gain confidence. You got the Vikings, they got confidence. Everybody getting confidence against the Atlanta Falcons. The Bucks, they just gained confidence because guess what? They were taking care of business today. The Saints, unfortunately, the Giants, they lost, I think, Tommy DeVito. I'm not sure if he came back or not. Hopefully he did. And if not, hope well wishes to him. But even the Saints taking care of business. The only team that I wanted to take care of business today was the Atlanta Falcons. But instead, we did not. We did not take care of business today, y'all. We got handed the business. And now the Falcons are third in the division after being perfect in the division. We now have lost back-to-back in the division and are third now as the Saints and the Bucks are tied for 7-7. Arthur Smith's job is still safe. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. But we're most likely going to have to ride with Arthur all the way into the season now, just from reports. I don't think we should. Honestly, we should leave him in Charlotte. And that, I mean, what? Him, Ragone, by the way, they had a crazy shot of Dave Ragone today. How he was just looking. I was like, man, he just sitting up there doing nothing. Look at him just sitting there just doing nothing. Anyway, I'm not even going to bother you, though, Mr. Ragone. It is what it is. You're doing the best that you can with what you have or whatever role that you have. But Arthur Smith, my goodness, man, it's the type of losses that you have, sir, the type of them. And now you are 6-8. And it's so crazy because me, Smitty, Berto, and other Falcon creators, content creators, man, we've talked about this. We have talked about the possibility of a third season going 7-10. But being realistic, it's a possibility we may not even get 7 wins. Like, we have next week the Colts coming in. Most likely, they're going to have Jonathan Taylor available, coming in fresh. And that's something that we have to deal with. Luckily, it's a home game. Our last home game, by the way, because our last 2 are against the Bears and also against the, yes, you guessed it, New Orleans Aints. Yeah, you still the Aints, whatever. But those are your last remaining games. Colts, Bears, Aints. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's slipping through our fingers, like y'all, like quicksand. Or like sand. It's just, bro, it is crazy to me to understand what is going on with the Atlanta Falcons and the ways that we're just coughing away the seasons. Regardless, Arthur Smith, Desmond Ridder, they're a package deal. Well, tell me, man, I'm going to tell you this right now, and this is not me being upset or anything like that. But right now, the way that this is going, both of them are going to end up being packaged up at the end of the season and shipped right out of here. That's the course that we're going. We're 6-8. We're 6-8, y'all. 2 games below 500 on a 2-game losing streak. You had a winning streak going on of 2 or 3 games. The next thing you know, smack. There you go. 2 L's and 2 division L's at that. So that hurts even worse because now you're buried down in the division even worse than what it is. Yeah, you had penalties that kind of stalled a few drives. Yeah, the weather played a factor. You've seen some bobbles. You've seen some drops. You've seen it. That's football, though. So we ain't gonna make no excuse about no injuries. We ain't gonna make no excuse about no weather conditions. We ain't gonna make no excuses about nothing. The Falcons offense did not generate points. And honestly, the Panthers defense kind of looked like what we wanted to see us do against them. They stalled us a lot of times. A lot of times we were not able to make plays. We were not able to make throws. We were not able to get the yardage that we needed, regardless of who had the ball. This ain't no time for no excuses. We lost to a 1-12 team, regardless of how it happened. And we had key fumbles, key turnovers from our skill players. Drake London didn't even get involved into the game until like the 4th quarter. after having a 10 catch, 172-yard game. I'm just not understanding what the hell is going on. And I'm really sick and tired of it. I mean, that's my personal feelings, but professionally, it just doesn't make any sense what Arthur Smith and the Atlanta Falcons are really doing, play calling wise and situational wise, with some of the skilled players, particularly talking about the quarterback. You dig? It's just, I just don't understand why you try to make that play. You've thrown it away. I just don't understand why you don't throw that away. I can't comprehend why you didn't throw that away, brother. Desmond, what's good? And people want Dez to be benched for the rest of the season. I don't see that coming either, because right now, Desmond Ridder is in a audition mode. Right now, Desmond Ridder is auditioning to see if he can be the Falcons quarterback or just an NFL quarterback, period, y'all. My bad, man. I've been ranting and going on, though. My fault, y'all. Let me give a shout out to the chat, man, who is in here, man. I appreciate anybody who coming in. Let's get it, GA. What it do? Oh, man, he's saying the season is over, A1. I really want to see what quote unquote give Desmond Ridder time supporters got to say now. Unbelievable. And that's true. Huckabuck, what's going on? Jordan Lee, what's good? Kerry, what's good? Yeah, joining over from Twitter. What's good, everybody? M Dub, what's good? Shout out to everybody who's popping in. C Double, RJ, Ricondo, what it do? Jamal D. Yeah, man. Hold on, man. Ain't no point of me just being selfish. Let me see if I can do this here. Kind of new to all this from mumble jumble stuff, but yeah, man. Anybody want to come up, have a chat, give your thoughts and your feelings about this game? Because I've been ranting, seems like, for the last 17 minutes here. And man, hey, the floor is yours, man. I gotta be honest, this is some bullshit. Straight up. Lost to a two. Well, they're now 2-12 team. Like, it's just certain teams you ain't supposed to lose to, you dig? It's just certain teams you ain't supposed to lose to. And this is, I felt like we had to win out in order to really get the division and in order to really get into the playoffs. We are backtracking. We are going down. We are at risk of not even winning another game, y'all. Like, I'm just putting these things into perspective. Of course, I want to win. I want us to still win out and still have a possibility of having the last game of the season be a win for and you get in for the division and the playoffs against the New Orleans Saints. I didn't want to end up being here, but this is where we're at. So, I got somebody coming up. Yes. Uh-oh, here comes trouble. Trouble. How you doing, brother?
We need to start saying that when I guess I come on. Yep, here comes trouble. Larry said the same thing. Larry said, just please remember to be PG. I said, okay, I'll do my best.
Yeah,
man, and I respect you guys. I'll always do that for y'all. But at the Waffle House, I'll be walling. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah, man, Waffle House. You know how tight and ABG do it, man. Shout out to him as well, man.
Oh yes. Look, Chris, Tip, I gotta tell you, man. First of all, congratulations. Awesome on on all the stuff that's been happening for you. Nothing but the best, man. You do a lot of good work, and man, I just appreciate your hard work, man. It's always awesome to be a part, and just chatting with you is great, man.
Yes, indeed, man. I appreciate that. I really do. Tell me about these games, brother.
Man, Chris, the hard part is, what sucks is remember how I was saying I just have this feeling, because I said that a lot, was I had this feeling, this reminds me so much of Arizona. But I kept hearing everyone going, well, we should. Well, we should. And I kept going, there we go again with this should. We never just take the ball by the horns or take the bull by the horns and just beat a team like we're supposed to. We haven't done it with this coach.
It happens all the time, brother.
Yeah. And this game, you said it perfectly. And it's also like how Arizona, there were a whole bunch of games that were begging for us to. Yeah. It should have been our get right game. But yet here we are. It's like, I know Lindstrom was out. I know, you were saying injuries not excuse. I agree, because you still had the ball in your playmakers' hands, but you couldn't make plays. And this coach, who's an offensive genius or a guru, whatever you want to call, I call him a fool boo if you ask me, because he ain't no fool. He a fool. But homeboy, man, it's like when, we talk about it. When he gets something going, what's the first thing he does? Gets away from it. I don't know about you, Chris, but didn't you find it ironic in that last drive? Carolina didn't get cute. They ran the ball down our throats.
Yep.
And when
their mistake from last week when they were close in that area, and they did.
And also a play where, what was it, Sanders, he runs out of bounds. The quarterback got in his face. Then they pulled him. They put Hubbard back in to run the ball to keep the clock going. And I'm going, right there, that told me everything. It's like, I know Bryce Young has had a really bad year. I know Carolina is the butt of the jokes. But right there tells you he's taking it seriously. He's putting it on him. And he's looking at his guys going, you got to be accountable to me. Come on now. We ain't playing this junk. And sure enough, they kept driving. And I kept going, we don't have that. We don't have, we talk about Ritter. He had, Arthur Smith, it comes back to that, training camp. Don't hide him. Let him fight for that job. Let it be nasty. Heck, if he didn't win it, in the beginning, it's not saying he couldn't have won it, but you awarded him that, meaning you're saying, I know more than you guys are. But yet, here we are struggling. We struggled against the Cardinals, and now we struggle with the Panthers. And look, the Panthers defense is no joke. But when I hear a post game where this lineman, Mike Johnson, wants to, back up Arthur Smith going, well, guys, you got to understand, we only lost by a couple of points. So my line is this. You're making excuses for a guy, but let's call it like this. You're making excuses for a guy who's an offensive guy, but we're having trouble with the offense. We only scored one touchdown, but we lost to 3 field goals. Make it make sense.
Indeed.
Indeed.
NW, man, let me get your thoughts. How you feeling?
I mean, after losing to the Panthers, there's only one way to feel right now. I mean, it's literally only one way to feel. But I'm going to spin it right quick. If y'all remember a couple of years ago, there was a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that had a quarterback named Jameis Winston.
Indeed.
And the following year after they got rid of Winston, they were in the Super Bowl. So I'm already thinking ahead. This season, after losing today, the season's a dud. Like, don't even. Why would we even try to fight for a playoff spot at this point? Like, this was the last chance. Losing today's game sealed it for me. I don't know about everybody else, but it sealed it for me. I was still holding on to hope today, even after losing the last week. I was like, all right, tough loss, but there's still hope. There's still hope. With the Saints winning,
the hope right out of us, though, right?
Absolutely. With this, I think the Saints won today and the Bucks won today, so they battling at 7-7. Yep. So if we can't even win in this trash division, how We got the Colts, who aren't a slouch, the Bears and Chicago, cold as heck. We're a dome team playing them at home in those conditions, and the Saints at home, a rivalry in their
Yeah.
house. It does not look good by any
Congratulations.
stretch of the imagination. And what sucks about it is the defense is going to play great all of those games, and the offense is going to give them maybe a touchdown per game, maybe, and you might get two cool field goals out of that. So at this point, it is hard to hold on to as long as Arthur Smith is at the helm. And I'm not even going to put too much on this. Does Desmond Ritter throw in? He is a turnover prone quarterback. I will give him
Yeah.
that absolutely. But
He's gonna
this season,
give you something.
this yes, exactly. This entire season, to me, it's like 65%. I'm hanging the blame on Coach Smith. Like you came in with all this rah rah, the mustache, and it's a new attitude. You got new players. You got all the players you wanted in the offseason. Got a revamped defense. What more? Tyree's voice. What more do you want from me? Like,
Seriously.
come on, man. Like, so
Seriously.
at this point, I'm already thinking ahead. Like, all right, look, you better resign the right people. Hey, bring back Calais, bring back Akuda, maybe Bud Dupree if you don't get a big name from pass rusher and free agency. Offense is pretty much going to be what it is because majority of the skill players you drafted, so they'll either be on 5th-year options or about to sign that 5th-year option. So the skill positions are a lot.
So
You just you
question though, family. You said bring back Okuda, right? So you don't
yo.
think the magic has like wore off the Cinderella shoes, came off of Okuda a little bit?
So let's be real. We all know who Akuda is. Like I like Akuda as a good CB too, but I wouldn't want him as a CB1. You definitely got to sign AJ Terrell. I've been screaming that since the beginning of the season, and we saw what time it was when he wasn't in the game. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
So we need
I
AJ Terrell. But I
So
we
do like Clark
definitely
Phillips III. I think right now what it is with Clark, he first of all, I love the kid. It's
yes.
just his timely mistakes. That's the only thing it be with certain of some of our players. It's timely. It's not that you suck necessarily with some rather than others, but it's the timely mistakes that you know what I'm saying. And that's that timely penalty, just like the previous week with the timely penalty. And just like with Helms with the timely being out of position at that particular time, which led to Richie Grant in the end zone. It's just timely mistakes with this Falcons team right now, and we're spiraling out of control. And our
I mean,
offense is sputtering before the bye and after the bye, no matter who's behind center.
yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I kind of agree with what everyone's. Well, let me make it clear. At first, I was watching AJ and I was going, "You're going to have to show that you can," and then he has. So I have stand on for the last like 3 4 weeks. AJ is a legit guy, and I like that.
Right.
And I'll give him his credit. Now Okuda, I'm going to go here. I'm not. I don't know, man. It's like this affordable contract, and you can get him to play maybe the slot because I think Bryce Phillips has a legit chance of being that number two. And I get what you're saying, Tip. He was making some errors, but how many games has Phillips played? Because he was not playing for how long?
Yeah, he only
Yeah,
played 3.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like I
So
love this game. I'm not
no, I
even
do
complaining
too.
about it.
Yeah, I'm
I'm not
just
even
saying it's like, could you imagine if he played, starting to from game one? That's kind of how I'm looking at it. I'm with, it's like I wish we would have, because something about him, he just has that. I don't care who you are,
he's a
I'm
dog.
coming after you. Yeah,
He
you
has
know,
that feeling. First of all, he already know he's undersized, so that's
yeah,
already a chip on my shoulder. When I line up against a taller receiver, they're already looking at me like, "Oh, mismatch." You know what I'm saying? And Phillips is like, "Nah, it ain't no mismatch over here." And I love that attitude. And those are the type of players this Falcons team need to play, give more time to, and build around. So you have AJ, you have Clark. And I mean, if you want to bring back Kuda on something on a smaller deal, I'm willing and open to that. But if Okudah is looking for big money, I'm not necessarily right now open to that unless he balls out these last 3 games, which is something I
Agreed.
don't necessarily see either. Not trying to doubt the young man. So
I mean, yeah, because I'm going to go here. Don't we need to at least try to go hunting for a pass rusher? Because I'm going to go here. We have to address that big time. Because, the guys we have now, they're just on the 1-year deals. The Bud Dupree, the Campbells, and I'll go here. I really like what I saw out of Zach Harrison. I really did. At least somebody showed something, other than, Landman always shows something to us. But I'm just saying, there's some guys that we have, but it's like we got to have that constant pass rusher.
Yeah, one thing I think Jeff Okudah,
man. We need to
absolutely
bring him in as well this week, especially after this loss, and to help with the rest of the season. And I believe we should grab him and hold him.
Heck yeah,
because he's out there, and I figure why not? Next year you can have him grading Kadarius Street possibly as well, still on the team. So you still have David Amanyata, and man, we missed David.
Oh God, yes, David and Chris Lindstrom. You did miss those two for real.
You did, but at the end of the day, we still had exactly. We still could have beat the Panthers without our top guard in the league and without David Amanyata. We still last week without Amanyata and with a banged up line that was missing 4 starters and only had a rookie Bergeron. So it's just we still could have won these games. It was in our grasp, in our hands, and it slipped through like sand, y'all.
And you have to look at one area that falls on, and that's coach. And everybody's saying, well, Arthur won't do anything. Well, here's the thing. There's just a few things I think of when I think of Arthur Blanks in this situation. Either he needs to get his chickens checked out, make sure his mentals is right. All right, he needs to go do that, or he's giving that man so much rope that by the end of the season, you know what's going to happen. Because I mean, it's like this. How can Arthur Smith walk into Arthur Blank's office and go, well, I just need a quarterback? Dude, you've picked these doo-doo quarterbacks. You've picked Marcus Mariota.
To Arthur Blank and say, I don't have a quarterback now. This too late and this past due. You didn't have a quarterback competition. That's first and foremost. Maybe if you would have let's dial this way back. Let me give you a hypothetical. Let's say I have a quarterback competition in training camp, right? And let's say that like all our quarterbacks, including Logan Woodside, and this is unfair to the kid because really he played well. But let's just say you feel like all 3 of the guys are not the guy. You could have found that out back in training camp, and possibly by the trade deadline, maybe we're in a different field for what we're doing. Instead, you did not.
Saw what you did there.
Instead, you did not. You wanted to have Desmond and believe in Dez. And because you believed in Dez, and because the Falcon faithful are faithful to the Falcons, we believe in Dez. And some of us, I already know it's a small percentage, maybe 1%, maybe less than that. But some guys are really still going to believe in Desmond Ridder. And that's because I feel like that's because you're still representing the brand. That's the brand thing.
Yeah.
But going forward, we have to really realize that, man, in the draft, we may be drafting one of these young quarterbacks because what we have seen. Despite if you like the kid, love the kid, hate the kid, despise the kid, he's going to give you some turnovers. Can you live? It's like a relationship. Can you live with the percentage of the that you don't like from your partner? And in particular, can you live with this from this quarterback, y'all? Can we really live having at least a fumble or interception per game? Some type of miscue or errant throw, the fact that he is going to stare down his receiver and not able to go through his progressions. Can we live with that?
Tip, you think about it. You get a guy. This is a 3rd-round quarterback that people are defending to the bloody end, like we drafted him number 1. If we would, you get a first round draft pick, they're gonna get some time and understanding, but also they also are gonna have, and we all seen it. Do we think C.J. Stroud? Anyone's asking questions about him now?
Absolutely not.
Especially with
At one point in time, he was in the MVP discussion before the Falcons buy. I know he was definitely up there in the MVP discussion. He's running to a little rut as the season go on. There's more film on him, of course, now, and also, he's still battling. He's a rookie, so I mean, he's still stellar. And I remember, and I'll give a shout out to Tidy again because he was saying, forget everything and throw whatever you possibly can to go get C.J. Stroud. And guys, I'm just being honest with you guys. Yes, we would not have Bijan Robinson, but I still like Tyler Algiers, and you could have got a running back later on in the draft somewhere that you got Tyler Algiers, by the way, as well. And again, still love Bijan Robinson, but hey, it's looking like, dang, Falcons, maybe you should have done a Thomas Dimitroff type move, which wouldn't even have cost as much as it did back then with Dimitroff jumping up from the 20s all the way to the 6.
Yeah, or just simply going and getting a defensive lineman like Carter. And people go, well, he wouldn't be able to play on the defense. Whoa. Do you not see how many injuries we had? We didn't have David Onyemata. We didn't have – that would have been a body. I'm just saying in general, there are so many guys we could have done.
Don't want to listen to the whole thing about Jalen Carter, and people don't like to hear that we should have drafted Jalen Carter. But I'm just being real. I was full sold 1,000%. No matter who I was talking to in that offseason, I'm like Jalen Carter. I mean, I understand the allegation. I understand everything that he did at the University of Georgia, being a part of that whole incident where kids lost their lives, unfortunately. But we're talking about what he's doing on the football field. I wanted the football player, I wanted the football player, Jalen Carter. That's the only thing I was thinking about. Now, Bijan Robinson is a part of this team, and I love that he's a part of this team. But at the end of the day, he's also a part of the reason why we lost today. That was a costly
he is.
Fumble in the Reds. Well, excuse me, in deep in Panthers territory.
Oh yes,
I know that it's slippery and everything out there. I do. But at the end of the day, it's football.
And all of that, you're a professional. You gotta hold on to it.
You gotta hold on to it. And I was wondering because for quite some time, a nice little stint, we was missing Tyler Algiers. And I was wondering, where is Tyler Algier? The next thing you know, here's the fumble. The next thing you know, finally, after that, the next drive, you want to start giving it to Tyler Algier. I said that this should have been a Tyler Algier, Cordero Patterson type game, especially emphasis, big high on the Algiers. It's a former 1,000-yard back, man.
Dude, the way that game was going, and I saw him starting, I was excited because I thought, oh, wow, they actually are going to do this. We got Tyler playing. Oh, we're going to see CP was playing. I was like, oh, yeah. And then Arthur Smith, look what I can do, has to pull up his, Mad TV self and put in Bijan and then go into this mode of, let's see what he could do. Look. Oh, he fumbled. Man. I cannot. It's like it's like it doesn't just hurt Bijan. It hurts that offensive line. It hurts every man that's trying to make that drive happen. And everyone's like, well, Arthur Smith hasn't lost the team. We're going to find that out because Christmas Eve is coming. The last home game of the season. And those Colts are no joke. You want to talk about it? You want to talk about excuses? That team has all the excuses. They lost their top quarterback. They lost their top receiver. Their running back has been injured, and they're in playoff contention.
They may not even have Michael Pittman after that. That was a terrible hit by
that was.
Happened. He should have never got hit that man like that.
I was stunned.
They may be without Pittman, they could be with or without, you know what I'm saying, Taylor, but I believe they're going to have Taylor because I've seen that they was eyeing this particular game to bring Taylor back. So there's a possibility you have that. Like you said, there's no Richardson. So you got Gardner Minshew coming into the with Mercedes-Benz. So they're being hobbled by injuries, but guess what? I guarantee you they're going to come out fighting against the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
And not just that. Swinging.
And Minshew, guys, that's the quarterback I wanted, like for our backup position, because he just has that, like, not just dog, but he just has that. Oh, I'm the backup, but I'll take your job. I don't care. You know, basically, he'll challenge you to. You better bring your lunch pail and be working, because I'll outwork you.
Right. And yeah. And we're trying to figure out right now, guys, on this post-game show, our post-game reaction. And thank you to everybody who's popping in and out. Thank you to everybody who's consistent listeners to this. Shout out
that like button, y'all.
And guys, I just got to be real with you, though. What kind of motivation do we have and can we give to our fan base to show up this week for the Atlanta Falcons? What kind of motivation can we really think about giving to our Falcon faithful, y'all? Because
I'll let my man down here say after that
this game because they don't believe. So it's understood. It's not. We're not given a lot to believe in right now. We're just not given a lot. There's not a lot that we can do. Yeah, we can single out this player and pat this player on the back, but as a team, we don't have a lot to look forward to. We're on the brink of another 7-10 or worse season, fellas, for the third straight year with the same that is being told that possibly may be here for a fourth season. But it's like, okay, if that happens, what the hell are we really doing? Because what direction is this team really going if Arthur Smith is back for yet another season? Because if he's back, you might as well say, okay, well, Desmond Ridder is going to be back. And that means we're going to have, I'm just saying, either Ridder will be back, or next thing you know, we're going to have a Ryan Tannehill, something that I just franchise. Because I'm going. You can't put no rookie quarterback with this, another rookie quarterback. You can't go put a rookie quarterback with this coaching staff. I wouldn't do it. I don't trust.
No, you're right.
For me to trust, what would be the motivation for me to trust another quarterback coming in, whether it's a rookie, whether it's Justin Fields, whether it's Kirk Cousins? It's like it's still Arthur Smith. It's still his offense. So it's like,
I'm not gonna lie.
If Smith come back, go ahead, M-Dub.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, man. I think if you're Arthur Blank, you have to, because this next game, this Colts game, is going to tell everything. Whether Arthur Smith has lost the locker room, whether if Arthur Blank has lost the fan base completely. If he looks in that crowd and sees more white and blue jerseys than Falcons jerseys, he knows what he has to do. If they lose that game, even if they win the game, Arthur Smith is not going to take this team to that next level. I'm sorry. He did a good job managing us through the crisis, the financial crisis we had. He did a good job getting us through that. However, to get to the next level, he's not going to do it. He's not going to take us there. He is a good 25 to 32 level coach. If you want to stay in that realm, Arthur Smith is your coach. But if you try to break into the playoffs,
you're right. Yeah, I definitely second that thought, man. And also, the thing about it is, even if you do want to keep Arthur Smith, you have got to get him a play caller. And I ain't talking about somebody average. I ain't talking about somebody just okay. You know, you have to really go and maybe try somebody from another team, possibly.
You got to get someone that's going to challenge Arthur Smith. Man. And is he going to go for that? See,
that's the whole.
You know, I want to go back. I want to go back to what Homeboy was saying. What's your name? I wanted to make sure I want to make sure I say it right because I didn't hear. Mike. All right, Mike. Well, I was going to say your tagline, but it's cool. So look, Mike. Let me put it like this: you said it right, and Chris, you've been saying it. we are about to have the last game of the regular season. That the radio station that we all know who sponsors the Falcons, they've been saying this is the push to the playoffs, the drive to the playoffs.
Drive to the playoffs.
And I got to go here. The media has also got to be paying the toll too. These guys have been trying to puff smoke up everyone's butts about how this coach is. Oh, well, Arthur's a really good man. Arthur really knows how to make this team get better. What has he done in the last 3 years now? He's under 500. And when you're under 500, I don't want to hear it. He's now going to be if he loses out, it's from 4 games under 500, he'll be 9 games under 500 in 3 seasons. And Arthur Blank really going to say he's the guy. And I like what you said. Really lose the locker room. There's a point in time, it ain't about just the locker room. It's those fans that you freaking fought to bring back. And then some of those fans aren't happy because what did you do? You go and get the Benz. And I remember hearing people going, man, it don't feel like what it was in the Dome. You don't have that feeling. So at that point, you have to realize you've got to Arthur Smith, who's all Mr. Home Depot. That's why I said you better get your chickens right. You better check your mentals, because if you're going to stand by Arthur Smith, that means Mercedes-Benz better be packed out by FedEx boxes, because that's much what you're telling us fans. Because the fan base has to make it clear, even that the radio shows and the media doesn't cover up this skank. They got to be able to go, have to at least, because I've heard the radio talent go, Arthur Smith only lost by 2 points. The team gave up 3 field goals. That should be a win. No, your offensive guru only gets 1 touchdown. He couldn't get 2. He couldn't even get another.
Could have won this game today.
I'll one up you. A field goal would have won this game. And he could have went for a field goal, and it would have been 10-9. That's what I'm saying. Arthur.
Same time too.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
That'd have been a different situation, because if we were up, if we had kicked the field goal, right, and we're up 10-6, the way that they drove the ball down the field and the way that Bryce commanding that offense, it's a possibility they would have went ahead and went for 6. They had plenty of time.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a possibility we still could have lost. That's why I said 14 points. Jeff 14. We all could have won this game.
I'm with you.
C-Dub, I'm going to answer a question you asked earlier. You said, what did Arthur Smith bring to this team? He brought a running game. That's about it. He brought a running game, and he took that same offensive line that had Matt Ryan running for his life and putting them in the dirt and made them actually look like a credible offensive line. He did those 2 things.
Well, hold on.
To an extent, that's not even all on him.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, not just that, but you're right. He did. But here's the problem I have with that. So the man brings a great offensive line, but then in the games that we need to win, the Cardinals, the Viking game. The Vikings are in the playoffs. The Titans. Yeah. No, I'm not. I don't mean to forget that.
No.
Well, the reason why it's like this. I go to the Vikings first, because the Vikings are basically in the playoffs because they have that head-to-head beat to us. So if we finish the same record, they're ahead of us. So that's what I'm saying. And then Tennessee, oh Lord, let's talk about that. A team that was struggling most of the year, and their best, Hopkins becomes a legend again because he has one huge game, and it's like you
been lighting it up.
Yeah. I mean, he got pulled out of the game because he got hurt, but yeah, he's been really good. And this is another guy that you didn't want to draft. You had an opportunity to draft even into the second round.
He was there.
Yeah, and it's like I look at this and I go, if you're going to tell me your top priority is run the ball, smash mouth, then stick with it. I would have no problem if we were losing games. Ritter was throwing 20 to 25 times, but Bijan, Algier, you know,
Right.
and then our CP getting in there. If we were seeing that, I would actually have no problem. I would be like, you know what? The way you were progressing this team last year, you're progressing this team again. I'm down with that. But this guy wants to go, look what I could do. Look what my quarter. And I'm going to tell you guys, the reason he went with Mariota, the reason he went with Ritter, I said this at the Waffle House episode, so he could look at everyone and go, this is what I've done. This is my design. This is my system. I don't need a great quarterback.
That's exactly why he's doing that, man. He has that rich kid complex.
Yes.
He really wants it to be all on him. It's the, hey, look at me and look what I've done. That's
Look what I
exactly
can
what
do.
the man is. And it's terrible because that's what we have for a head coach. And that's the type of and it's like blundering behavior. And
That's your leader.
all the time with this team.
And that's your leader. Like, I don't know what he's saying to make these guys believe, or if he's just, putting some $1 million in their, in their lockers. I mean, that would probably do it for me, but still, but I'm just saying, I would look at him and I'd just go, dude, did you bring Derrick Henry? Did you bring that offensive line? No. So I understand that the first 2 years, but again, under 500, and then and the other reason why I say that, when they drafted Pitts, one of the comments I heard Arthur Smith say, we're not rebuilding, this is a reload. And I went, okay, player, based on those words, let's see how good this team gets. And, that the 7-10 season where Mariota threw the grenade toss, happy anniversary there, I went, all right, they got to go to Ritter. And they were still not wanting to go to Ritter. And it was like, because I kept going, you need to see what you had in him first.
Right now with this team, it just seems like it's just nothing but just walking bad timing on everything what's going on. Walking bad timing and decision making, play calling, situational decisions, maybe sometimes making things too complex when it should be simple, cut and dry. So it's like, come on, man. It's like time after time. And just like Jamal D said, the Washington loss. Oh, Drake London's career day, by the way. That was an L. Then you just lost. Honestly, I feel like last week was unacceptable too, because we should have had that win. We should have had that win. Drake London, 10 catches, 172. Another L on a career day for him. Surpassing what he had against Washington, Arizona.
You know what's
coming back and let him run all over you. You let him escape the pocket. And why? Why did he escape the pocket so easily? Because he's a better athlete than Josh Dobbs. Somebody that moved out of the bed and did that to you and made you lose at home yet again.
And don't forget that we made McBride into an all pro that day.
Man, Richie Grant, he said he can do nothing with me.
Oh, I remember that.
He said that right after the game, but I told my quarterback, hey man, Richie Grant can do nothing with me. So that's and my quarterback gave me a chance. And hey, that's what for Arizona, that's what you want to hear. You want to hear your tight end say that. I have the mismatch and let's explore. And that's just what happened. That's another guy all season who has been terrible. Terrible. You didn't hear his name called much today. He's been up and down, and that's not wavy and not cool. So it's just
I mean, it's so funny. It's like you say that, and we talking about it with the Falcons. It's like you see, like what you were talking about with Drake and how last week, he had a career game. I'm not going to take nothing from Drake. I love that catch he made against the corners, where he became a cornerback, basically. Yeah.
Snatched it out there.
But, guys, this is one of those things that really bothered me to the very end of that game. freaking Desmond Ritter throws the ball 5 yards short of the end zone. And what really aggravated me at that wasn't, it's like, you threw it 5 yards short of the end zone. Come on, that's the play. You got to win the game. You got to throw it in the end zone. If you get a pick, you know what? Or they knock it down, fine. It happens. Just throw it deep. Let's see our guys make the play.
Right.
There was a guy wide open in the end zone. He threw it to Drake, and everybody was around him. And it's like everyone on the field knew. Yeah, everyone knew we could leave everyone wide open. Let's cover Drake. And Arthur Smith wants to go, well, see, that was bracket coverage. He made the right throw. No, he didn't. Stop.
I have something to add to your point about that. If you
go ahead.
That play, let me tell you something that I noticed. I noticed that Kyle Pitts was very disengaged on that as well. Like he already knew the ball wasn't coming his way. So it was like, why even really run full speed? And also, why look for the ball? I didn't see Kyle Pitts look for that ball at all on any replay that I've possibly seen from that play. And by the way, on Mr. Kyle Pitts, guess what? This is another game that he led targets. Oh, it was three receptions for 37 yards, but he led the team. And you got Jonnu Smith, that big reception that he had where he almost ran all the way to the house, man. He showed some wheels. But the thing that just trips me out, after a career day of 10 catches for 172 yards, you roll back around for the young fella and only give him 2 catches for 24 yards, and it didn't even come into the fourth quarter. I just don't understand that at all. He's already shown that I am number one. Old school Nelly. Y'all remember that song?
Yeah.
Number one. Frank has already showed that he is number one.
Hey, I'll bring this to you. Remember when he was in Tennessee, that great offense? Well, what was one of those key things was to make sure to showcase that they can throw the ball. They would always target A.J. Brown. They would make sure he would get the ball, or Jonnu Smith. They don't do that with this.
They started asking for more money. That's when they shipped him out.
Yeah. Well, you know that. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, pay him. We can't do that. We the Titans. We'll send you to the Eagles. It's not like they'll do anything. Uh-oh. What I do? But yeah,
real quick shout out to I Wake Up Wavy, baby. We Talk Hawks Live TV was on a live with him, man, the other night as well. Well, actually last night. Yeah, last night with the guys, man. So shout out to him, man. Thank you for joining as well, man, and listening. Shout out to everybody who's coming through. Yeah, man. This has been another debacle just for the Atlanta Falcons, man. Another debacle. That's the word that I got to use for this. And that's a word that ultimately we may be using for the season, and it's just so terrible because it's like in my heart, I still have faith that some kind of way at the end of the season against the New Orleans Saints, we're going to be playing to try to get into the playoffs. I didn't want to be here, but that's the best scenario that I have now at this point. But work in my mind is saying 7-10 or worse. It's a possibility we win another game. It's a possibility we may lose this home game against the Colts and then go to Chicago, get smacked in Chicago because of weather conditions and play calling and lack thereof, no matter if it's behind center or wherever it is. So, and then you're going to have the New Orleans Saints coming in. They possibly maybe for them by that time win and you get in, or you got to win to keep the Bucks out. It may be something that they're playing for.
Yeah.
Point. And you have them and then they're at home. I ain't gonna lie to you. I hate to admit it, but if it at home, regardless, against the Atlanta Falcons, that stadium is going to be rocking just because they don't like us, we don't like them, and that's how it's always going to be.
I mean, we haven't proven we could go on the road and beat a team that is competitive. And I understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying better record. I'm not saying, because we've played teams and we've lost two, which is, okay, I'm just about to say this. We've lost on the road to 2 teams combined that had combined 2 wins coming in. Where, yeah, Arizona with their two, when they beat us, they had 2 wins now, and now they have 3. But but then you had the Panthers who won 2, and the Panthers don't have anything to fight for. They don't, it's not like they love their coach. They don't have a high draft pick that they were defending because guess what? That pick's going to Chicago.
Yep.
So it's like
full pride. This was we're building for next year with our quarterback because he showed great poise and confidence on that last drive. I absolutely despise it because it's against our team. I hate when people do good against us. When they shouldn't. Especially when they shouldn't. They ain't did nothing all year. Okay, next thing you know, what? They just lost 6 in a row. They just lost 6 in a row since they played the Texans, and then next thing you know, you're gonna give them another dub. You want to be the team to give them the dub.
And that's the problem. It's like when we played him the first time, I remember hearing people go, we're going to get him easily this game, but when we go against him, he might be a problem. I'm going, God, I hope that's not the truth because that means we're in trouble. That means our season is not in a good way, and sure enough.
And I got to give a shout out to my homie Smitty too, man. Shout out to my brother, man.
Oh yes, Smitty.
Shout out to Birdo, man. As I am one third of the 95 North Sports Machine. But yes, man, I gotta give him his shout out too because he didn't feel like we were going to win this game. He felt like we were going to lose.
He called it.
That's not just like throwing bad mojo out there. He just seeing what was going on. And private conversations, I'm like, man, Smitty, I feel you. I feel you how you feel about how we possibly may lose this game, but I'm going to still have the faith because we have everything in front of us to win this game. And it showed, even though, man, this offense just sputtered and it just stalled after that touchdown drive. You had good thoughts and good feelings about possibly us winning that particular game. You had good feelings because, okay, we starting to get the offense going, 7 points.
Started rolling, yeah, man.
Defense, they had a great stand. To hold them to 3, great sack by Zach Harrison at the particular time to hold them to 3. Okay, we're going into the halftime with the lead 7-3. All right, we're gonna come out and we're gonna, pound them again. We're gonna execute and we're gonna get 14 points because again, 14 points could have won this game.
Oh God, yes.
Because the defense up until the last drive did their job, bowled their backs, showed that they're one of the best defenses in this league. We have one of the best defenses in this league, regardless. It's just the offense doesn't give us enough.
I got it.
Our coaching staff doesn't give us enough on the offensive end. Is where I'm talking about. Defense, we cool. Ryan Nielsen, so Jerry Gray. Hey, I ain't got no problem with nobody over there because y'all come to play every week, and we know next week y'all gonna come to play against the coach. I'm not worried about this defense and questioning this defense. But at the end of the day, y'all, some of these players on this defense are a little older, and some of these players on this defense, they're gonna get worn down, especially if you keep coming at them. Again,
the executive
12, 13 more plays than we did.
Those 3. Oh. Those 3. Those 3 and outs that always happen to us when we get in that row, when we get 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. It's just so maddening. And you're going, come on, get a first down, give the guys a break. Especially I look at it's like how Chris Rock had the picture of Terry Crews with the trash cans, or he's doing his job. That's how we need to start doing for Calais Campbell. When he's trying to get to that quarterback, he's about to sack, and he throws the ball. I gotta put it at Desmond Ridder. Go, look at him. Look at what you did to him. And I want to say that I gotta say this. Tip, by the way. Yeah. He played. Oh God, yes. And
again, 103 sacks now, 35th. Shout out to Calais. Thank you for coming to Atlanta and
C-Note's doing his job, man.
Absolutely.
Chip, I gotta say,
he could have went to a contender.
Oh God, yeah.
He could have went anywhere. Let's just be honest. He could have went
that. I was stunned when I saw he was coming here. I was like, okay, he's coming here. Is he going to bring somebody else? Because if so, that's cool. But yeah, he's been bringing it. But guys, first of all, Chip, this is why I have been on about the radio and everything, because nobody wants to be as honest. And this is why I love Smitty. I love you guys, because Smitty always says he's going to speak his mind. He's going to tell it like it is, and that's the same vibe I was getting. I was getting the same vibe, and I kept telling people, I'm sorry. I look at this game like I'm looking at Arizona. It's like, don't tell me this is a must-win game. Just go for it. Go full throttle. Don't BS me.
This game is like the Super Bowl or something.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. When Taylor,
every game, every time somebody says this is like the Super Bowl,
this is our Super Bowl. And sure enough, we get a lead and then we lose it. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. This was like our Super Bowl. You must have prepared, with regret and everything.
Y'all energy is real, and sometimes you can speak the wrong things.
Yes.
My gosh, like this is like the Super Bowl, and then we lose to a team that only had one win at the time.
Speaking of every team that we played in the playoffs, every team that's beat us in the playoffs, they won the Super Bowl, regardless of what round we saw them in. Every team. As far as
time, I was walking around saying, "Hey, you want us to win the Super Bowl? You gotta beat the Falcons. That's all you got.
Just beat the Falcons. Yeah.
Take out the Falcons and you go." And you know what's sad?
It was like that. That was the theme.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was the theme. Take the time and close your eyes, everyone, and think about all the times that a team has beaten the Falcons somewhere in the playoffs and ended up in the big dance, or at least with a shot to go to the big dance.
He ain't lying, because Arizona, they went, Green Bay went, the Giants went. Oh God.
The Patriots beat us in the Super Bowl. Broncos beat us in the Super Bowl. The Niners.
That's still so very hurtful. That honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl, but I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
That NFC Championship game against the 49ers hurt me the worst.
Oh God, yes.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh, I cried. I actually shed tears on that one. I ain't ashamed to say it.
That thing hurt. That thing even hurt me worse than the '98 Super Bowl. I was still a kid, like a kid too. So, but as far as like stuff, and then I was at that game in 2012 too, by the way. I'm talking my noise in that 2012.
Oh, you should. Yeah, we should. Everyone should have been talking noise, man.
And then I promise you, oh God, you couldn't find me at the end of that game. You couldn't find me. Chris did what all Falcon fans did at that time. We learned the lesson of, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. No one see me. You don't know who I am. I'm going in hiding. Yeah, humble thyself.
I
think that lesson right there taught me how to be humble. Right there.
I think that was it. Chris, all of us, I think all Falcon fans, we can all name that one game that taught us how to humble ourselves and make us into what we are now, where we go, the Falcons, they going Falcon. And sure enough, tonight was, and here's my thing, man. This defense, if we were to just take care of basic business, people would be talking about how great this defense really is. But we can't talk about that because we got 8 losses.
If you turn on the TV right now, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I will see it because I know I will see it. You turn on the TV, I'm pretty sure right now the only thing they're talking about is that costly interception.
Oh yeah. Well, and he's Mr. Turnover. And here's the thing, we were talking about, would you draft a quarterback with Arthur? Here's my thing. I would actually draft the quarterback regardless. If it's like this, I'm either drafting a quarterback, a lineman, or a defensive edge for a pass rush. Those are my 3 areas I would draft my first pick overall. And yes, it could change depending on if the coach is going to stay or whatever happens. But I would get the quarterback because I want to see if Arthur really is going to do a quarterback battle between Dez and whoever is with us. Someone's got to, this is what I'm saying. If he comes back like he does, if this happens, the fans need to be hypercritical of Arthur Blank. And in that, instead of being hyped up and cheering in the spring training, there better be people booing the living junk out of Ritter, or yelling, throw it deep, or, whatever it takes, because this is what I'm saying. I've heard the Falcons, or I heard people talk about, the fan base needs to understand. Well, no, pal. Other cities, they are crucifying Jalen Hurts, and the man took them to a Super Bowl last year. The man's almost single-handedly won them the Super Bowl. Besides a penalty flag given.
If he can criticize, y'all.
Everybody could get. Yeah, Matt Ryan.
Nobody's safe.
Yeah, Matt Ryan was criticized every game he played. So I don't want to hear this junk. And I swear, Ritter, don't ever get on the microphone. If I hear about how you don't like throwing from a clean pocket, I'm going to just throttle you myself because I'm just sick of it. That man was like, I like to get hit. I don't like it. It feels like 7. Dude, you need a clean pocket because it would help us out to win a game once in a while. Oh, sorry.
I can hear it now. There's Ritter on the mic. So obviously, every now and then you just gotta get. Sometimes you gotta get hit for it to feel like a real game.
and when I threw that interception, I realized, I should have thrown it to the other guy. But Monday wasn't open.
You gotta put three. You gotta put 3 obviously in there somewhere. But yeah, that's absolutely. Obviously, I tried to make a play at the right time, but
Hey, and we all know Dave Archer, he's going to be getting on the mic with Ritter going, my son, I'm so proud of you.
Exactly.
Arch, he's a quarterback himself, man.
To
be pretty critical. He should be. At least everybody really, that played the quarterback position probably are all saying, I don't know what he was looking at, or I don't know why he threw that pass right there. Because I don't know what was going on. It was ill-advised. Throw the ball away. We can kick the field goal and just go from there and see what happens, man.
So I want to ask y'all a question right quick. So basically with what we're facing, let's say hypothetically we don't make the playoffs. It was good, John. Hypothetically, we're just done with the playoffs. And we are keeping Arthur Smith next season. How are you approaching this offseason? Do you bring in a veteran quarterback and draft a pass rusher, or do you pay money for a pass rusher and grab one of these QBs? Me personally, I would do the latter, but I want to get your take on, all right, based with how this season went or what we've seen so far, how are you approaching the offseason?
Man.
I wouldn't mind getting rid of my first round draft pick if it means getting a difference maker. I wouldn't mind getting rid of the draft pick. The hell with it. Get rid of it. I don't need it. If a difference maker is coming. Like, for example, hypothetically speaking, if we could have traded a first round draft pick for Brian Burns at this point, you can have it. You know what I'm saying? For a difference maker, like I said, man. I'm not just trading away for anything, for just little anything.
Yeah.
And I think everything should really be on the table this off season. It's something to think about. The trading of certain players, the letting go of certain players, the signing of different players. It's a lot of things on the table for the Atlanta Falcons.
Who to extend?
And just to John's point here, we got to see what Arthur Smith. We just seen the Chargers let go of Brian Staley. I don't feel like Atlanta is just going to do something like that and get rid of Arthur Smith, because not only are you getting rid of Smith, you possibly getting. What you gonna let Dave Ragone actually call plays? Really, really call plays if you let go of Arthur Smith. Because it's just like you're letting go of your coach and technically offensive coordinator at the same time, all in one guy. So it's like,
Yeah. Here's the thing to John. Also with John. Well, look, let's call it what it is. We saw the Raiders clean house.
Yeah,
that was less than a year. That was less than 2 years. I applaud that. Yeah, I applaud that. Yeah, that's what you should do. If your team sucks that hard, and then I'm going to go here. About dang time, Chargers. Your team sucked too. And now here we go. Falcons, we suck.
Some people is calling like the Chargers like a mirror, like the AFC Falcons. I've seen it.
And I've seen it too. So you're not the only one that's heard that. Yeah. My thing is this, man. You know, let's get back to what Mike said. So, I wanted to get back to what Mike said. Burns, I would trade a draft pick. I'd trade whatever you want. I'd give you a pitch in regard, because we need somebody. We need a pass rusher that can affect the game, not just a guy like Bud Dupree that gives you the try hard sacks. But when he goes against good teams, he can't get there in enough time. My thing is this: give me a guy that's gonna make a difference.
Right.
And then the next, I mean,
too, because he may ask for more money. You never know.
Yeah. And here's
a good season.
And also, Chase Young may be available. You got other guys. Clowney might be there, but my thing is this: I am so with everyone when it comes to a pass rusher, a guy that can just dominate the game. Like a Micah Parsons. We need somebody that just changes that outlook.
And then Michael Parsons on this platform.
I'm sorry, but hold on, Tip. 2021. I kept saying, go get your quarterback, a lineman, or defensive guy. And what do we go get the tight end? Now, here's the problem. Well, hold on. I got you now. Tip.
It's supposed to be Julio's replacement.
Hold on. I got you, Tip. So, see, rumor has it. Well, okay, this is just C-double just speculating because I'm going to bring trouble. But anyway, Arthur Smith has been really looking hard at those Georgia tapes. And he's trying to talk to Daddy Blanks about possibly drafting Brock Bowers first overall, baby, because he could show Kyle Pitts how to block, and it'll be the most dynamic 1-2 tight end catching duo ever. And here's the problem. I'm joking. I could see it happen.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. If that happens, somebody needs to be slapped.
I'm with you. I think
physical altercations need to be had.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Furniture shaking.
Yeah. I want all Falcon content creators to meet me at the bids. We are going to storm in the office. As you know how they like to clap and, shake hands. It's going to be a bum rush of all of us just doing the beat down circle. And just going, nah, you got it, no. And then someone needs to grab the phone and go, he lying. We don't want Brock. We want this guy. Somebody got to do that for him. We'll let Big Low do that. He's the good guy on that. But
and I love Brock Bowers, but it's just,
I do too. But I'm
saying no point to draft Brock Bowers because that's a first round talent, by the way.
So, he is.
That's what I'm saying. There's no point in trying to draft no Brock Bowers. If you keep the draft pick, I can see us possibly going quarterback. Didn't want to be here, but are right.
But now, here's my thing: if we draft a quarterback, sign a quarterback, let them fight for the position. Let's not just hand it to them. That's my problem. I couldn't. Yeah.
Smith is the coach.
Yes.
Coach again. I have no confidence. Zero. Matter of fact, -1 confidence that Arthur Smith will be able to pretty much run this offense with yet another quarterback.
I mean, here's my question.
And he's going to be the same. See, what has to happen is Arthur Smith has to change in order for things to change if he's going to stay here. He can't be the look at me type of a guy. He just needs to do what's necessary to win the game. Don't make it cute. Don't make it this or that. Yeah, you have some good play calls, and I give you the one to Jonnu Smith, but Ritter had a great throw as well. If that is a great throw from Ritter, that's an interception or an incomplete pass. No telling.
I got a question, Tip. Tip, I have a question for you. All right. So after that first year with Matt Ryan, do you think Arthur Smith in his head was going, I'm not getting enough credit? Hey, Terry, let's see if we get Deshaun Watson. He would fit our system a lot better. You whiffed on it. Matt was like, bye. I'll see you. I'm gone.
I mean,
Because before I always thought it was Mr. Blank going, hey, he was a ball boy. He's one of my, try and do that last kind of, hey, I need to interfere in this. But now I'm wondering, was this a way of Arthur Smith doing the, I'm going to show you I could win with anybody? And here again, now we're here.
Too, honestly. I definitely I said maybe a mixture of the two, to be honest with you, because I fully believe that Arthur Blank wanted Deshaun Watson. 1,000%, I believe that.
Yeah.
But also it could be hey, you don't need Matt Ryan at this point in time. He is digressing, you know what I'm saying? He's not the quarterback that he used to be. That arm is starting to fade on him. It's starting to, fail him.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get rid of him and get in Deshaun Watson. We'll bring in Deshaun Watson first, and then we'll let Matt go wherever he wants to go. That didn't happen, and Matt still went wherever he wanted to go. So it's just like it was a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation. And because regardless, Matt Ryan was gone. Once that report came out about Deshaun Watson possibly being an Atlanta Falcon, you knew the writing on the wall that Matt Ryan was going to be gone. So I don't believe that it was just all on Arthur Smith or even a ploy or a plot by Arthur Smith to try to get Deshaun Watson in and try to make it seem like he can win with anybody. I believe that Arthur Blank himself, the owner, the chief, wanted Deshaun Watson here and was willing to go with the allegations and everything and to get him here. Now, unfortunately, right now, we know Deshaun Watson is on the shelf right now with the injury. So we don't know if that would have been happening here, but we also don't know. And the unknown sometimes is the most scariest thing.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it just kind of like popped in my head because I'm going, this coach, that's the thing. When you watch how ignorant a guy can be and in the game and how, you're seeing the game playing and how everything's going and you're going, we're really this bad. Like, we can't be this bad. But then again, you're watching and going, this coach really is calling these plays.
Yeah. Andy said we got to get back into the win column, but he looked like he was at a funeral doing his press conference, just hanging his head. Yeah, because he knows that this looks even worse this looks worse. You have more L's on your resume that are terrible. It's the type of L's.
And he didn't bring no one to the playoffs, so he doesn't even have that to rest on.
No, he don't have a visit to the playoffs since you've been here. Pretty much, like, honestly, if you're looking at it from wins and losses, playoff appearances, this has been an absolute failure for the Falcons franchise. From top to bottom, we gave him the first 2 seasons. We knew we was in Cap Hill. We knew about the Julio situation. We knew about the Matt Ryan contract. We knew about all that. We knew about Shannon Sharp and Julio. All those things he had to deal with. Cool. But now, right now, you have the best offense. And we was talking about Mariota this and Mariota that. But unfortunately, Marcus' numbers right now, if you go and look at them, and shout out again to ABG for the other night.
Ooh, that was a good one.
But yeah, that's my thing is, it's the truth. And people don't like the truth. Mariota's numbers right now are better than Ritter's, and I hate it because I remember I tried to go look at some numbers before on some comparisons earlier in the season to try to see how much better is than Marcus. And when I realized I had to backtrack, like, all right, let me save this for later in the season because at the time Marcus was ahead of Desmond. So it's like out there. The information is out there. But right now, we're supposed to have a better quarterback. We're supposed to have a better quarterback right now. We definitely have a defense. That's the one thou wow. But
we're supposed to have a better offense.
the defense is better than the offense. And again, I'll say this, and it's so funny how we have an offensive guru and a defense, and we've had a defensive guru, but an offense. It's just so the Atlanta Falcons, man, and it's crazy how this happens over and yet over and over.
For not only the rest of this season,
I don't know what else to do, y'all. And possibly beyond. That I really thank y'all fellas for coming on here with me, chopping up with me. And I definitely got some schoolwork I got to get into. I definitely want to get everyone's thoughts about this Atlanta Falcons team, about this loss to the now 2-12 Carolina Panthers. And the thing about it is, man, shout out to my cousin, man, up in Carolina as well, man. He has a channel more to live for, and he's a Carolina Panthers fan. And I just want to say, with all love and respect, 3, 4, 5 games. That's the love and respect.
Grace and dignity. Chris had grace and dignity.
With all disrespect.
But I can't believe right now my franchise, the franchise that I'm embedded to, that I will root for until the day that I'm no longer here, lost to you, who only had one win coming in today. Man, I don't even know if I'm gonna eat dinner tonight, because guess what? It's gonna taste like cardboard anyway, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to eat my dinner, so it happens. Look.
Guys, man, thank y'all for coming on, man. C-Double Show, tell them where they can find you, man.
Man, all you gotta do is stay glued to my page, C-Double page. I post a lot from there, but I'm also going on my C-Double channel here on YouTube, and I'm basically going to shoot some lives. I'm going to basically talk how I feel about the Falcons, Hawks, and I'll also be talking about some wrestling. But right now it's about football and about the playoffs and happening, and just talking about Mr. Look What I Could Do, and we'll see how we do from there.
What about you, M-Dub?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Your boy Mike Ward, the franchise player. You can catch me on Instagram, Twitter, mfranchise21, on YouTube, The Brothers Unified for Freedom Evolving Together, aka The Buffet. We put out a little content every now and then. We definitely getting back to it next year. We took a little hiatus. People got married, people started having families, started growing. We started evolving. so we had to get it together. I'm out here in Germany, so I had to figure out how to learn it. I had to learn a different language and figure out how to do things out here. So, but we coming back next year. But yeah, rise up. The Falcons, hey, look, I still have faith in the team. This year, no. But I have a feeling one of these next upcoming seasons, mark my words, it's going to be just like the Bucs did when they got Tom Brady. It's going to be just like the 49ers did when they got Kyle Shanahan. We're going to have that meteoric rise. We almost there. Just hang on, Falcons fans.
One day.
We're on the way, y'all. Well, again, my scenario, I'm holding on to it until I can't no more, and that's Falcons versus Saints in the Bayou for the division. That's my scenario I'm gonna hold on to. Hopefully it comes to fruition, because boy, I don't know what's going on right now. Again, we lost to a now 2-12 team, and we have to look in the mirror and see where we go from here, y'all.
Well, one last
right here, man, you already know Chris A1 Forever Sports. Be generation. You can always have vision. That goes for us too, Falcons fans. We have some decisions we got to make. Guys, we can come into the bins and support these Falcons again. And hopefully this win. Not. I'm have that right at this point with a 6-8 Atlanta Falcons team that should be way better.
Red zone defense in the NFL, which means how big of a fix is it?
Until next time, y'all. Again, thank you, Mike. Thank you, C-Dub, for coming on and joining me for this post-game reaction. You did what? Panthers post-game reaction, y'all. And until next time again, y'all.
Talk about the defense. And they were without David Onyemata.